Hello, everyone, and welcome to Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com, the number one Superman fan site in the world. In this, our Monday, March 24th, 2025 show. Of course, it is Tuesday here for me in Australia, but it is Monday there for you guys in the USA. I got the time right this week. Daylight savings hasn't tripped me up yet. But in 2 weeks' time, I think it is, we'll be going out of daylight savings, so that'll change. But anyway, tonight's show, I am joined by my two good friends, and my co-host, Michael Bailey. Hello, Michael, and how are you?
Hey, Steve. Doing okay?
That's good. And Mark Lax. Hey, Mark.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Doing well. All right, and we are joined by people who are tuning in, watching us live via Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Thank you to everyone who is joining us tonight. But we have a few topics to get through tonight. We've got some movie stuff to get through in regards to some merchandise. We've got, what have we got? So we got a rumors of a 5-minute preview. We'll get to that in a second as well. We've got t-shirts. We've got a reunion between Lenny Luthor and Nuclear Man to talk about. We've got some comic book solicitations to get through, a Death of Superman thing that I think Michael Bailey is like looking at his wallet to see, can I afford this as well? And we've got plenty of other action figures as well tonight. Some really interesting action figures to have a look at. And but tonight we are, as always, sponsored by our good friends and patrons. I want to give them a shout out. So thank you so much to Rick Schutzow, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. They have bought us this week's coffee. So thank you to those four fine people for being the major sponsors of Superman Homepage Live. And if you'd like to join those folks and have your name or business read out at the top and end of each Superman Homepage Live broadcast, then all you have to do is click the join button below there on YouTube. There are different levels of membership with different levels of perks, one of them obviously being getting your name read out here on the show. Or you can also go to Patreon. Just head to patreon.com/Superman homepage. But we want to also have fans involved in tonight's show. So, Michael, how do they go about being a caller on Superman Homepage Live?
Oh, it's really simple. They just go to supermanhomepage.com/live and press the call now button, where they will be placed in the green room and they can watch the show while they're waiting to get on. Or they can scan it with the QR code, which is right next to me. Now, if you are using your computer to do this and you want to get on the show and you're listening to the show through an external speaker, we're going to have you mute that while we have you on because we're on a bit of delay and that can screw things up. And if you're using your smartphone, please use a headset or your AirPods or something like that because speakerphones there's like this crackle thing. We're not quite sure what's going on with it. I blame Lex Luthor. But I blame him for a lot of things. But no, it's just that easy.
Yes. And if you're a little bit shy and you don't want to get on the phone tonight to call in and talk to us, then feel free to participate there in the comments. Whether you're on Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook, we can see what you're saying, answer any questions you might have, and respond in a timely manner. So feel free. And you can also chat with other fellow fans who are watching the show at the same time. So make sure you get involved. And if you are watching via Instagram and you're not getting the full picture, because we are in a widescreen landscape format, then simply go to supermanhomepage.com/YouTube, where you can see the full screen version of the show tonight. And if you are listening later on via a podcast, we will attempt to be able to describe anything that we are talking about visually for any of our audio listeners listening via the podcast later on. But let's get into tonight's topics, gentlemen. We are going to look at the movie side of things, where today, pretty much as I woke up, there was talk of a possible 5-minute preview that is going to be showing in front of Thailand cinemas or theaters, where in front of the movie, a Minecraft movie. This is very interesting. A 5-minute exclusive preview of the upcoming Superman movie during screenings of a Minecraft movie in Thailand's major Cineplex theater chains.
That's strange.
Mhm.
Um,
has anything has anything like this happened before? Have they done anything like this with other movies?
yes, they
Yes.
there was a preview of Dark Knight in IMAX where they showed like the first 5 minutes of the film before it came into theaters. I remember that happening. So yeah, I it's weird that this would be happening in Thailand and not the United States, unless somebody in Thailand just jumped the gun on
Yeah,
announcing it and they weren't
Mhm.
supposed to yet,
that's my
which is
thinking.
entirely possible.
Exactly, that's my thinking. That we don't know yet whether or not they've jumped the gun and announced something, because the movie, a Minecraft movie, doesn't release there until April 3rd. So that's obviously still a little bit away. And so whether or not this 5 minute preview announcement has been leaked early, but I've done the translation on the image graphic and on their Facebook post about it, and it's legit. It's the authentic Major Cineplex Facebook page. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see whether or not such a 5 minute preview also is available elsewhere in the world in front of whether it's the Minecraft movie or something else. But that does seem like a long preview. 5 minutes. I mean, it could just like be an opening sequence, and that's great, and that's kind of doesn't give away too much, but it kind of gives us it kind of puts the kibosh on anybody's talking about a trailer, because a 5 minute preview is a lot better than a trailer.
Mhm.
No, because the trailer would be released online and stuff. They're not going to do the 5 minute. They're not
How
going to
long?
release the first. I mean, maybe they will.
How long
It's
until it leaks?
well. How
Five
long until I'm
minutes.
scrolling through TikTok and there's like bootleg videos of it, or it's entirely possible that they'll do it for the Minecraft movie and then on April 18th, which is Superman Day, release it online. Uh, I sorry, I'm stuck on this being in front of a Minecraft movie, and that's because I'm old and somebody needs to come and put me to bed soon. But I just, why is there a Minecraft movie? Why? I mean, is it? I mean, I understand the game's popular. I'm not saying that people shouldn't play the game or enjoy the game or anything like that. I'm just wondering, how do you take a? I don't know. It's got Jack Black. It's got Aquaman in it. Oh, sorry, excuse me. It's got Lobo in it. Um, but yeah, I guess this is their next big thing that they're counting on. Gotta hope it does better than Snow White.
Oh, jeez. We won't have to worry about anything leaking if it was Snow White because
No one's seeing it.
No, no. Speaking of Snow
no
White,
one's
I know
seen
this
it.
has nothing to do with Superman. Are they really trying to convince me that somebody is more attractive than Gal Gadot? I mean, seriously, is this really what this
Here's
movie is
something
trying to do for me? This is I have no issues with this film whatsoever, except that.
But
I mean,
she's the
nothing
ugly
against
stepmother.
Rachel Ziegler. She's an attractive woman, but she's not prettier than Gal Gadot. I'm sorry. It's just this is science. I'm just saying. That's the 5 second clip you should release out there so that people can uh, talk about how terrible I am.
We'll make sure that goes up as our reel promoting this episode. But yeah, Mark, would you be interested in? Would you go see the Minecraft movie to see a 5 minute preview of Superman?
You know what? No, not the amount because, like we said, no, no, no. You know it's going to get leaked
Yeah, I know what you're
sooner
saying.
than later,
Yeah,
right? That's
right.
number one. Number two, I'm not spending my money to sit for like 10 through all the different previews and then finally get to this and then get up and leave because I wouldn't stay for the movie.
Fair
So it's I'll wait till it gets leaked online. So no, I would not.
enough.
Not for this movie
that's
anyway.
and,
that's
No.
the
and the
world
fact
we
that
live in.
it's the fact that it's an IMAX, I think, is the other issue. Is
Yeah,
that do you
true.
really want to pay extra
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, I remember back in 1989, people were going to films to watch the Batman trailer. And it was the same thing in 1999 with the Phantom Menace trailer. People were paying to go see a movie that they had no intention of staying for and left right after the trailers. But IMAX is a different experience altogether. That's it's more expensive. There are less of them.
Yep.
So I guess that's why you do it there. But again, if you're going to do a 5-minute preview, just release it online. And so that
Yeah.
though, let me ask you this: how long are the reaction videos to a 5-minute preview going to be?
5 minutes.
I mean, the reaction videos to like the minute and a half trailer that we got, back in December, like hours. So like 5 minutes, they're gonna go frame by frame on this thing, and it's gonna
Yeah.
be
It's going to be
insane.
an hour long.
So
It's going to be the
we're
Snyder Cut.
thinking of this is literally going to be a 5-minute trailer.
No, I
So
think
we're
it might
gonna
be
get-
like the first 5 minutes of the movie or something,
Yeah.
like an actual
All right.
sequence
It's
from
probably
the
gonna be
film.
that, and
That makes more
because
sense.
here is my feelings on this. Is again a guess that will inevitably be proven wrong, and Steve will play it after the movie, and we'll all have a good laugh about it. The fight with the monster is the first 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is the best way to kind of showcase, like, it's a good Superman, like James Bond opening, basically, where James Bond is doing something that has absolutely nothing to do with the rest of the movie, but it showcases James Bond being James Bond. I think it's going to be the same thing. I think all like him saving the little girl and all of that is in the first 5 minutes of the film to an ELO song. No, I'm just kidding, because he said he's not doing that. But still, I think that's what we're going to see as the first 5 minutes, because it doesn't give away anything about the plot. It doesn't give anything away about who the guy in black is. All of that's off the table. It's just a cool 5-minute Superman sequence, which I think we can all agree we really want to see, because we really haven't gotten that since Superman Returns. Maybe destroying the thing that is trying to terraform the planet in Man of Steel, but we really haven't gotten a good sustained super save or series of super saves like we have in previous films.
Yeah, look, this is going to be interesting to see if this does pan out to be what we're thinking it is. But yeah, Justin in the comments asks, what do we think about some of the rumors and speculation about these screenings that have, test screenings? People commonly, I've heard so many different varying versions of what people think. It's like, I was gonna say a rude word, but it's like backsides. Everyone's got one, like opinions. Everyone's is different, and so people are saying, it's bad, it's good, it's comedy, it's not a comedy. Just wait for the film to come out and make your own assessment. Stop worrying about what other people's opinions are. And we've seen movies that have done really great from the fan perspective, but yet the critics have panned it. So look, wait and see it yourself. Don't judge it by what other people are saying, because between the three of us, we can read the same comic book or see the same movie or watch the same TV show and have three different opinions. So that's not to say we're experts. We have varying opinions on what we think is right or what we think is wrong or what we like or what we don't like. If I like chocolate and Mark likes vanilla and Michael likes strawberry, it doesn't mean that any of those is better than the other. It just means we have an opinion. Make up your mind when you see it yourself and stop relying on the opinions of other people to prejudge this film.
It also means we could split a gallon of Neapolitan ice cream.
Yes.
Save
But
our money.
I have a question. These test screenings, are they for like a general audience, or are they for people for Warner Brothers, or the?
I guess
they're
people from
them?
people in the industry.
Yeah.
So
okay.
whether they're people from Warner Brothers, people that are trusted, people that may be in the media, like People Magazine or those, they get advanced screenings of these things so that they can write up their opinion piece to get published day in of the movie or what have you. That's the kind of thing that I'm thinking. It's more of the industry insiders.
Okay.
All right. So we'll wait and see if we get any more details on this 5-minute preview. Then we'll keep you posted. But at this point in time, it's just been the one location that has posted about it. But we will hopefully have any further details. We've got CinemaCon coming next week. Whether there's a trailer or anything there, we will also let you know. So keep your hats on. We'll keep you posted as new information comes to hand. But something we do know about is a opportunity for fans and collectors to connect with the Greater Cleveland Film Commission at Fan Expo Cleveland this weekend, where the organization will... Was it this past weekend? Running.
It was this
it was
past
this
weekend, I
past
think.
weekend. So fans got to get some autographed merch, some some really cool paraphernalia and there was a raffle with signed merchandise, posters, what have you. So if you were there at Cleveland, we hope you had a good time and were able to get some cool stuff at Fan Expo.
That's neat. That's some pretty old school Superman stuff too.
So yeah, very interesting. The merch that was available there that was signed by James Gunn, David Corenswet, and Rachel Brosnahan. But something else that kind of just broke 5 minutes before we came on air tonight was the availability of a new T-shirt that is supposedly available in Canada at the moment. It's a kid's T-shirt. It does have Jorge Jimenez artwork on it. And it's a Daily Planet T-shirt. It says, I'll get a closer image of it up here, Kryptonian heritage, human upbringing. This can be a great planet, but making it great starts with each of us. It's about what you do. It's about action. Special edition, a view from above. So it's like a Daily Planet front page. It's got the obviously the design and logo of the upcoming Superman movie, but with Jorge Jimenez comic book style artwork. And this one is available from a company in Canada. It's like an Oshkosh brand. So if you can find it, grab it. At the moment, we only know it's available in kids versions, kids sizes. I haven't seen an adult size available yet. But as I said, this kind of came to light 5 minutes before we went to air tonight. So it may be available sooner at other locations like Amazon and that kind of stuff. But at the moment, not widely available
Yet.
Yeah, I can't see this just remaining a little, just for little kids kind of thing. I mean, they have to know that people like us are gonna really want one.
Yeah, it's a nice design. I don't mind that at all. So kind of interesting what's out there. Kind of locations around the world getting little bits and we had that backpack, that children's lunch bag that was in like Walmarts and Targets and those kinds of things there in the US. And then you've got this T-shirt that's available only in Canada at the moment in one particular online store. So it's kind of like it's dribs and drabs are coming out in bits and pieces, but before too long we won't be able to keep up with just how much there is out there. So,
yep.
there you have it. All right, so that's the movie side of things as far as the upcoming film is concerned. But looking back at an older Superman film, there was a really heartwarming reunion this past week between two actors who starred in Superman 4: The Quest for Peace. They were, of course, John Cryer and Mark Pillow. John Cryer was probably more familiar to Superman fans or Supergirl fans from the CW's Supergirl TV series, where he played Lex Luthor. But he was first in the world of Superman as Lex Luthor's nephew, Lenny. And then, obviously, Mark Pillow played Nuclear Man, whose voice was provided by the late, great Gene Hackman. But the two of them were brought together thanks to CapedWonder.com and Prop Store, where they had a look at some of the merchandise and costumes and things that were on display at the prop store. Have a look at a quick bit of this video.
What?
The great John Cryer has arrived. Lenny Luthor himself is here. And there's Mark Pillow, Nuclear Man.
How are you, man?
It's so good to see you.
Wow, so good to see you. And you're still really tall.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you're as handsome as ever. Love to see you.
Thanks. All right. Wow. I have no idea how... Where on earth did you get this from? I do okay or what, Uncle Lex?
The last time you saw...
There you have it. That's just a bit of the video of him being reunited with that jacket, that very 80s looking jacket that Lenny wore when he broke Lex Luthor out of his imprisonment and, breaking rocks in the hot sun. But yeah, very nice looking video. What's wrong?
Did he also fight the law and the law won? I mean,
yeah, that's right. I was seeing if anybody kind of caught on to those lyrics. So yeah, really cool video there. They brought those two guys together.
Yeah, I think we're now in this kind of era where Superman 3 and Superman 4 are still very much maligned by the larger Superman fandom, but when you're getting into these collectible shows and these conventions, it's just kind of neat to bring these people together. And, it's just like there are people out there that wouldn't ever want to meet either John Cryer or Mark Pillow. And there's a lot of people that are like really excited that they got, like, I saw that video. I'm like, oh, that's sweet. And then I'm like, is that really the first time they've been in the room together? And then I'm like, Mike, why would they be in the room together? It's not like Mark Pillow had like this giant career afterwards.
Yeah, that's right.
But no, I liked it. I also liked his reaction to seeing that jacket again. That was very funny.
Mark.
Yeah. Nice to see that they're both bald now.
It's a theme.
It's a lot. That's great. I mean, I think people, even if you were not a fan of Superman 4, I think people generally in the Superman world, enjoy the fact that they're kind of getting back together for this thing, or seeing each other for the first time in, almost 40 years. No, I think it's kind of cool. It
is definitely very cool.
See.
Thanks to Jay Towers for allowing us to play that video and putting it up on Facebook and other social media outlets. So yeah, really cool. You can watch the full video on our website if you haven't seen it in full. All right, so the only other movie-related information that I want to speak about, this kind of popped up on my YouTube feed. I haven't seen anybody else speaking about it, but it's a documentary called Shopping for Superman. The official trailer was released recently. It documents the 50-year history of neighborhood comic book stores and their ongoing struggle for survival. Have a look at this trailer.
Up in the sky, it's a bird. It's a plane.
The American Comic Shop. For over 50 years, they have been a singular space for collecting and graphic storytelling.
In many ways, is kind of the godfather of comics as they exist today.
It's something that you just can't do unless you really love it, unless you're devoted to it.
I couldn't believe that there was a shop just for this stuff.
There's something about comics that seems to pull people together like other things don't.
If you go back to the early 1970s, there were maybe 20, 30, 40 comic stores in the United States at that time. At its peak, we probably had 5,000.
I have enough comics to sell 1,000 comics a day for about 27 years.
The business was booming.
It felt like there was no end to the potential growth.
That all went to hell.
Yeah, that all went to hell. Yeah, really interesting trailer. You can watch the full thing at our website. But as I said, this documentary reveals how the retail comic industry has shrunk by over 75%. And you can pre-order a physical Blu-ray copy today. It will arrive in late 2025. All you have to do is go to shoppingforsuperman.com.
I'm interested in that. It's the history of the comic shop in the United States is kind of fascinating. There was a book that came out some time ago that had a pretty extensive history of how they started and the early distributors and all that. I'm wondering if they'll go into that. But not surprised to see Chuck Rosansky from Mile High Comics in there. And not really surprised to see archival footage of the late Phil Suling as well, as he was the guy that put on early comic shows and was one of the early distributors as well. So no, it looks cool. Looks really good.
Yeah, like I said, I hadn't seen anybody else posting about it, but it came up on my YouTube feed, and I thought, well, this is obviously they started with the Adventures of Superman theme from the 1950s at the beginning of the trailer, and it caught my attention, which is probably a smart little entry into the trailer on their behalf. But definitely, love to promote and support any of these kind of independent documentaries, especially when it pertains to an industry that is close to our hearts in the comic book side of things. So I'll be definitely being interested in seeing more about that. Shopping for Superman, a film by Wes Easton. All right, we are almost at the halfway mark of tonight's show, but one quick TV thing. We haven't had anything about TV-related news for nearly a month or more. But while we do have something on the TV side of things, it's not necessarily great news. It's probably disappointing for Smallville fans. Al Gough was interviewed on the Talkville podcast by Michael Rosenbaum and Tom Welling this past week, where during their discussions of the season 6, episode 6 episode Subterranean, Gough offered an insight into what's been holding up the proposed animated series continuation of Smallville. And he said, I think the problem with most projects in development is any studio and or any network is regime change. Warner's has obviously gone through a lot, and I think the fact that they're in the process of rebooting Superman again kind of, unfortunately, I think keeps our thing off the table for a bit. So it doesn't sound like the whole concept of the Smallville animated series is going to take off anytime soon. And I saw a lot of people pointing at James Gunn and saying it's his fault. He doesn't want any competition with the upcoming Superman movie. And if that were true, then season 3 of My Adventures with Superman would not be going ahead. I just think it's a bit of like pie in the sky type of stuff for this Smallville animated series. There probably is a following for it, but I don't think it's a priority for the studio heads. And so while hardcore Smallville fans, and obviously Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum and the like, would be interested in it, whether or not it's a money spinner for the network or the studio is probably debatable. But I would like to see it, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's going to be taking off anytime soon by the sounds of things.
Oh, it's interesting. If social media is any indicator of anything, which, judging reality by social media is a fool's errand just in general. But if it's any indication, there's like a whole new generation of people now discovering Smallville. So there might be an audience for it, but it's just, I think one of the bigger problems is for stuff like this is that the market is so saturated at this point. And I'm not talking with Superman stuff. I can hear people picking up their pitchforks at the very thought that there's too much Superman material at the moment when we don't have anything on TV, and the biggest thing we have to look forward to isn't until July. But it's just, if Smallville is now a niche part of Superman fandom, and animated series based on Smallville would be a niche thing within a niche thing. Yep. Like, are you going to put it on Max? Are you going to put it on Hulu? Would the fact that the rights are still with Hulu for streaming distribution screw with the animated series? I mean, it's just, this is like one of those things where, they've been talking about it for years, literally. And nothing happens. And now it's kind of easy to point to the new movie as maybe the indicator that it's not going to happen. But I think that's one of the reasons. I just don't think it's the main reason.
I get once the movie's out and that starts to die down, I would hope that there would be more of an option to not necessarily just do this, but I think everything is riding on this movie. Everybody's looking towards this movie, and what's going to happen. What's going to be the big? I mean, they've already announced a lot of things they wanted to do, but does that mean over the next several years any other kind of project like this, or you mentioned My Adventures with Superman, will that get a fourth year? Are these things gonna go? Can these things go forward while until this first phase of James Gunn's and what the other guy, I forget his name, Safran.
Saffron, yeah.
This first phase of their their universe goes through. Does this mean we're not going to get anything else other than what they're doing? Is it possible? Like I said, once the Superman movie comes out and then it leaves theaters, and is it then a not better opportunity to do more of these things? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would enjoy seeing animated Smallville, but it sounds like it just won't happen because they want everything in the same universe and blah blah blah. But no, I wouldn't point my fingers at James Gunn. I would just say I understand that they're trying to get their own universe together. So all these other projects are kind of hanging there. So I don't know. I'd love to see it. Will it happen? Will there be able to be outside things other than what James Gunn is doing? I don't know, but we'll see. We really don't know much of anything right now.
Yep. Definitely, we don't know anything. That's so true. And, I'm, getting messages left, right, and center as we speak from people, saying, "Oh, what's going on with this movie? Is it, test screenings? I heard bad things. I've heard good things." Like, let's just kind of relax a little bit, everyone. Things will come to light when they're going to come to light in regards to anything to do with a Smallville animated series. They'll come to light with a new movie. Like, let's just kind of sit back, wait and see, and not get all too excited about anything that's kind of being rumored or speculated online at the moment from any sources that are not directly related to Warner Brothers or DC. All right, we're going to take a quick break, play some messages, then come back on the flip side, talk about some merchandise. We've got fan favorite question, also got Michael's This Week in History to get through. So we'll be back right after these messages. Don't go anywhere. Plenty to get through in the second half hour of tonight's show.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
If you're enjoying Superman Homepage Live, then please like and share this video with your family and friends. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, then you can click on the bell to receive notifications whenever we post a new video. You can also join our YouTube membership program, just click the join button below. Or you can become a patron and support our website by going to patreon.com/Superman Homepage.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Bomer, the voice of Superman in Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
Hi, Stephen. This is Lois Lane from the Daily Planet.
Do you want to start a video podcast but don't know where to start? Or maybe you've been podcasting for a while but you're bored with the traditional audio-only format. Either way, I've got just the thing. Ecamm Live is the #1 choice for busy podcasters who want to easily create professional-looking video podcasts. But why? They're more engaging for your audience, and video keeps their attention, so they're more likely to stick around and become part of your community. Let me show you just how easy it is with Ecamm.
I mean, it's not like I asked to be famous.
Yeah, well, it's the price you pay.
You sign a lot of autographs?
Oh, yeah, you?
They asked me to bend stuff a lot.
I could see that. What?
It's Lois. She's in trouble.
Did you look through that building?
Well, kind of. It's glass.
Watch it.
Whoa.
Idiot.
Lois!
Superman, I've forgotten my wallet.
I can't carry money in this. I'm powerless.
I'm not.
What's with the spinning? He idolizes me. It's embarrassing.
My hero.
What's that? It's a huge comet hurtling perilously towards Earth. We're doomed! I think you better get this one. You can do more with the American Express card. Wait, could you? It's for my kid.
Ah, yes, Seinfeld. All right, so we're back on Superman homepage live, where, as I said, you can go to supermanhomepage.com/live to be part of tonight's show. But we're going to jump into the fan favorite segment right now. Here we go. Where is my button for that? Oh, there it is. All right, so Michael, what was our fan favorite question from last week?
It was, what is your favorite episode of the Superboy TV series? And Lorenzo Hot Takes Valdez wrote, the Lois and Clark episode that Lana appears in is Tempest Anyone is quite high on my list of favorite Lois and Clark episodes, but it doesn't top the Green Glow of Home for me. This is me giving him a hard time about that last week. We only meet an alternate version of Lana and not the Lana of the main Lois and Clark universe, so that takes away a bit for me. As for my favorite Superboy episode, I imagine Steve will be pleased to know that it is Meet Mr. Mxyzptlk from the first season.
Very cool. Thank you, Lorenzo.
And next we have Alfie Fossatelli, who wrote, my memory of the Superboy TV show are fuzzy and fragmented, but I do remember seeing an ep of the Superboy that had a cool werewolf in it, as well as a girl from Hellraiser. So when my two favorite things, Superman and horror, are combined, I'm happy. Also, I missed the last fan fave question, but wanted to add that this past week I watched season 2 of Lois and Clark and noticed Dean Cain actually wrote a Christmas episode that was really kind of fun, even if on the silly side. It's great that Superman lore can be produced and interpreted in so many different ways and still be interesting and entertaining.
Very good. Thank you very much to those two fine gentlemen for sending in their responses to the fan favorite question asking about the Superboy TV series, both getting in an answer also, or a response about last week's Superman and Lois and Clark episode question. I've not seen many of the Superboy TV show episodes. It's a bit of a hole in my fandom. It's never really, been on my radar. But do either of you have fond memories of it, or have a favorite episode that you want to mention?
Oh yeah, I watched it as it aired.
Cool.
In 88 through 92. It was actually, for the first 3 seasons, it was on Saturday nights with My Secret Identity, starring future Superman Jerry O'Connell. But no, it was such, for a long time, it was like the forgotten Superman media, because there were just people who didn't really know that it existed. So, and the fact that it, changed Superman's and changed Lex Luthor's from the first season to the second season, I have a lot of affection for the first season, even though it's not got as strong episodes. It's a show that really got better over time. If I was going to do a favorite, it would be the two-parter Know Thine Enemy, which was written by J.M. DeMatteis, which went into the origin of Lex Luthor. Superboy was actually experiencing Lex's life
Oh, wow.
and the abuse that he suffered, and it was a really good two-parter. Dug in a lot of the old, like, pre-crisis Lex history. So, yeah, that would probably be if I was going to boil it down to a favorite.
Cool, Mark.
Well, I watched it on and off from the first season to the last. I didn't watch it that faithfully. I do remember the change from the first season to the second, and enjoying that more than the first season. I think the whole thing with the first season with the guy who was Lex Luthor and all that, I didn't like that, which is why I loved when Sherman Howard had come in. And the fact that they changed Superboys, I mean, I had no problem with John James Newton. I know they're whatever happened backstage is whatever. You've heard a million stories. I did like Gerard Christopher. Like I said, I watched it on and off through its whole all the time it was on. I can't pinpoint a specific episode. I mean, I do remember enjoying some. I do remember kind of shaking my head at others. I just did what I did watch. I enjoyed in general.
Very good.
I can't pick a specific episode, but I did enjoy it.
Very cool. All right. Well, that was the fan favorite answers from last week. Mark, what is our new fan favorite question for this week?
Our new fan favorite question is: what is your favorite episode of Superman the Animated Series?
Yes, this one is probably going to get a lot of responses. It was very well received. Superman the Animated Series. What is your favorite episode from that series? The email address is on your screen right now. info@supermanhomepage.com to send your responses to. That's info@supermanhomepage.com. And we will read out all the responses we receive to your fan favorite responses for the favorite episode of Superman, the Animated Series. All right, let's jump into This Week in History.
Come with me now, my son, as we break through the bars of your earthly confinement, traveling through time and space.
Not a whole lot this week, but we do start in 1945 with something I've been remiss in the last couple of months of mentioning. More Fun Comics number 103, which was 2 issues after 101, because that's, how numbers work. But this is where Superboy made his initial appearances. So, I gotta start remembering to be plugging More Fun Comics for the short time that Superboy had a strip in there. In 1955, we have World's Finest number 76. I love seeing Batman, Robin, and Superman back to shenanigans on the cover, as that is always fun to see. We have also Action Comics number 204. Okay, who the man who could make Superman do anything? Apparently, floating upside down is one of those options. If I could make Superman do anything, I know that's exactly what I would choose. We also have Adventure Comics number 212. This is I'm not saying this is a low point for Superman, but this is definitely right before the Silver Age really kicks in and the exciting stuff starts. And that's all I'm going to say about that. 1965, we have Action Comics number 320. Lots of Action Comics this time out. Action Comics number 324, The Black Magic of Supergirl. I love her little devil horns. That's kind of cute. We also have Superman's girlfriend. I've written down Superman's friend, Lois Lane.
I didn't grab that one.
Oh, that's fine. But this one was up there too, so I missed one too. So, yay! Superboy and the Super Moby Dick of Space. Okay, we're just going to move on to 1975 because obviously the world doesn't make sense anymore. I love this cover. I've loved this cover ever since I first saw it. I love the idea of like this demonic elevator operator scaring the hell out of Superman. So in Action Comics number 448. 1985, we have Action Comics number 568. yeah, this is the last days of the pre-crisis Superman, and it wasn't all that good. World's Finest Comics number
I
360.
remember this. I remember that issue. Off the stand. Anyway, go ahead.
It's not terrible. It's just aggressively fine, as Robert Gunner would say.
Yeah, well, the thing was, the early '80s was when I got into Superman, which is not the best time to do it, but that's why I'm so fondly remembered. These final pre-crisis stuff, because that's kind of when I got into it. So anyway,
we listen and we don't judge. Trust me. We also have World's Finest Comics number 316. Yeah, nothing about that looks interesting. God, I'm just so negative this time out. Okay, let's go to 1995 with something I do like. Adventures of Superman number 523. This is part 2, or part 3, excuse me, of the death of Clark Kent, where Superman is obviously trying to rescue Mom and Pa Kent, who have obviously thrown themselves off of a gorge for absolutely no reason. That's not true either. Then skipping all the way to 2015, because nothing was going on in 2005, Earth 2 World's End number 25, which is wrapping up that particular era of the Earth 2 book from the New 52. In the real world, March 25th, Batman v Superman opened in the theaters in the United States in 2016. And Crypto the Superdog premiered in 2005. Ahead of its time? I think we can actually say that now. March 26th, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, praise be his name, was born in 1948. And in March 27th, Nathan Fillion was born in 1971. He's like... He's 5 years older than I am. That's insane to think about. I don't know why it is, but it is. But that's this week in history.
Thank you very much. Excellent. Always fun to look back, and then also to mark some anniversaries and birthdays or what have you that are happening this week in the world of Superman. All right, so let's jump into the comic book side of things, where this past week DC released their solicitations for the month of, what is it? Was it just
June?
To the top, June. Yeah, June 2025 solicitations. Not only did we get Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong 2 number 1 listed, which we've already mentioned that they would be doing a follow-up to that. But we also got solicitations for Superman Unlimited number 2, the new series that we mentioned last week. This is the cover for Superman faces a brave new world, radical change sweeps the globe, and the ramifications of the kryptonite asteroid reach a fever pitch. So this is the second issue of that new ongoing series. We also had Superman number 27 listed in the solicitation. Nothing can stop Superman's Red K infection, so Lois Lane goes to the people who infected the Man of Steel in the first place, the Lex Luthor Revenge Squad. So that's Superman number 27. Also listed was Action Comics 1087. And in that one, we have, what do we see here? We've got, reading the solicitations, witness Mark Waid's triumphant return to the title alongside rising star artist Skylar Patridge, as they take Clark Kent back to his early years on Kent Farm. This can't-miss story with ties to the present takes the Boy of Steel to unexpected heights as he figures out what being a hero truly means. So there is that. There's also other comic books that are interesting in there. Crypto, the Last Dog of Krypton, number 1. And there's the new history of the DC Universe. I saw you make mention of this, Michael, on your social media accounts.
Yep. Yeah, it looks really exciting. It's a 4-issue series written by Mark Waid. The first issue is going to focus a lot on the Justice Society of America, as the cover kind of hints at. And it's going to have art by Jerry Ordway and Todd Knock in the first issue. So it's, that's going to be kind of a big deal. I'm really looking forward to that.
So, some interesting listings for June coming out. Plenty of things to be able to sink your teeth into. World's Finest is obviously in there. There's a continuation of the DC Sonic the Hedgehog crossover. There's an Action Comics 775 facsimile edition listed. And then we also have listed this Death of Superman Absolute Edition. It's going to go on sale not until November, so it's a late one. But it's listed in the June solicitations, but it won't be released until November. Experience the death of Superman like never before in its largest format to date, featuring an extensive gallery of over 200 pages of never-before-seen artwork, brand new essays, scripts, retrospectives, a trading card gallery, and more. Michael, do you have an essay written in this? Well, that would be really cool. Did anybody ask you?
No, no one has written. No one has reached out to me to write one. And again, why? Despite the fact that Jeff and I covered it, and I bang on about this thing constantly, no one has reached out to me yet. If they want to, I'd be more than happy to. I do have work published elsewhere. That's official, so I'd be happy to. So this hit me right here, which is my wallet.
Yeah.
Did it so much it started tearing it. That's how bad it got. No, this was last fall. There was an announcement on the Penguin Books site that they were going to be doing this, and I think they announced that compendium for the Metropolis of Tomorrow that was also solicited. This is, I guess, the next, I guess, logical place to go with reprinting the Death of Superman. Just an absolute edition, but it looks amazing. I mean, 200 pages of never before seen artwork. The fact that there's going to be a direct market edition that is going to have a case that's a coffin that you can put the book in, and that 1,993 of those are going to have a reproduction of the first sketch that Dan Jurgens did of Doomsday. I would like to point out that the book came out in 1992, but I'm not going to quibble at this point. That's me being pedantic, and this is why they haven't asked me to write an essay in it. I think is because I point things out like this. It's the funniest thing about this announcement is I was sitting there looking at it on my computer screen, and I kind of maybe said a word that I can't say here. And Rachel, my wife, comes in and asks me what I'm talking about, and I tell her like what's the hubbub, Mike? And I tell her, and she immediately starts to try to figure out how we can make it happen. Now, I told her it's okay. It's not coming out till like November. We've got plenty of time to plan for this. You know, it's not a big deal. I'm gonna get one. But yeah, it's. I think the only problem is that now I'm gonna have to rethink like my Death of Superman shelf that I'm gonna be having in the new place when we eventually move, because this thing's gonna be huge.
Yep.
Like I'm gonna have to put it on top, but I'm not allowed to put these books on top of the shelf because Rachel is petrified they're gonna fall and kill one of the dogs, which is theoretically possible. So no, I'm really excited. It looks really good. I didn't see the cover until you posted it, and I think the fact that it has the armband around it, they're really putting some thought into this.
Very interesting.
What? I missed the price. How much?
$125.
Yeah,
125. Well,
that's a standard. It's a standard price for an absolute. A lot of places will have it for less than that when it comes out.
Yeah, and the direct market edition will be 150.
Okay.
$25 extra for that coffin.
That's it.
Yeah.
Again, this is why they're not going to ask me to write an essay. It's because I'm making snarky comments.
So that's solicitations. I want to quickly have a look at the action figures that McFarlane Toys previewed. Gave us a first look at 3 different action figures that came out this past week, and they'll be available to pre-order as of tomorrow. The first one is the Kingdom Come action figure, Page Punchers. This is a 7-inch scale action figure. which comes with a reprint of Justice Society of America, Volume 3, Number 10. Again, this will be available for pre-order March 25th. Then there was the Supergirl Page Puncher, which is obviously based on the Woman of Tomorrow comic book series. This is also available for pre-order March 25th. And obviously that people are going, what does she need a sword for? Well, if you read the comic books, you would understand. And then the other one, which is a weird one, this is Todd's Mods. Todd's Mods.
Geez.
So he's got stung by a bee, but this 4.5-inch scale limited edition vinyl figure is also available for order, but from March 26th. So this is not an action figure. This is more of a vinyl figure, but this is Todd McFarlane's own modification on Superman.
That's a big no for me. Sorry, Tom.
That is,
That's weird.
you know, everyone made fun of like the 90s Superman with the long hair that McFarlane did. I think this is more 90s than that.
Well,
in all honesty.
Superman's package, excuse the expression, is bigger than his head.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, to quote, I guess Todd, you know, took the Alexander Soul kind, either he has a big one or he has nothing, and said he has got a big one. So, you know, that's
Wow.
I didn't notice that before,
his
Steve.
head.
Now it's the only thing I can look at.
you
So
can't
thank you
get
for
rid of
that.
your head.
Well, no, it's bigger than his head.
That's what I said. Yeah,
You
he's got
see,
big
that's
feet. You know what they
nice.
say? Big feet, big shoes.
Big feet, okay.
But
Little head.
yeah, little head. Anyway, moving on before we get banned. So yeah, that's some three action figures that are coming out March 25th, March 26th for pre-orders. You can find the links on our website once they're available. Go on, Michael. You had something you wanted to
the
say.
Kingdom Come one looks great, by the way.
Yeah.
We were
That one
really
looks really
negative
good.
there, but I think I think that
one
looked really good.
Yes, indeed. Just quickly, some of the other things going on around the world. The Superman Rhode Island Theatre Company is returns to Bell Street Chapel to partner with Rhode Island Stage Ensemble for their spring production, Jerry and Joe, Birth of the Superhero. Now, this is obviously a stage production that tells the story of Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster, the creators of Superman, who obviously sold the rights to Superman back in the 1930s when they worked for DC Comics. The performance will run for 2 consecutive weekends in May 15th to 17th, and May 22nd to May 24th, with all shows beginning at 8 p.m. So if you want more information on that, head to our website for all the details. But that sounds like a really interesting production on the story of Jerry and Joe.
Yep. That looks
also,
exciting.
yes, the Superman statue in Cleveland, they're doing a fundraiser for that. So the goal of their nonprofit is to raise $2.2 million for the historic Superman Plaza. They're now 70% of the way there, but need to finish off the job an extra $660,000. So they've created a GoFundMe page for you to go and help raise that extra money with your own contributions. So if you're interested, again, on our website, or you can just go to supermanstatuecleveland.org to help with the fundraising of that excellent project there in Cleveland, the town where Jerry and Joe lived when they came up with the concept of Superman. All right, well, that pretty much brings us to the end of tonight's show. Before we sign off, I want to thank everyone who tuned in to be with us this past hour. Thank you for your company. We really appreciate you taking the time to spend that with us. A big thank you to my co-hosts, Michael Bailey, Mark Lax. Thank you, gentlemen.
Pleasure as
Thank
always.
you, guys.
And a big thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Rick Schutzow, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. Again, if you want to join those folks and be a supporter of the show, just click the join button there on YouTube or go to patreon.com/Superman homepage. Now, the complete 1-hour video of tonight's show will remain available on our website and on our YouTube channel if you'd like to watch it back, or perhaps you missed part of the show and want to tune in and watch it all over again. But we will be back next week for the final episode of March on Monday, March 31st at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time for another edition of Superman Homepage Live. We hope you'll join us then. We look forward to talking to you then. Until then, be sure to check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. I'm Steve Eunice on behalf of myself, Michael Bailey, Mark Lax. Thanks for watching Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com. Good night.